Let's go, girl. Let's go.
Still be an employee because I still got a 9 to 5, and how to effectively run and market my business too. I'm a praise and worship leader. I'm a preacher. I wrote books. I got to figure all that out, but I still got to figure it out. So all of that. Some of you have a little jar. If you don't, find one at a table because the tables are full. But you have a little jar, and you have 5 pieces of paper. And your jar should have a cork lid. What you're going to write on those 5 pieces of paper are 5 things that you want from yourself, from your life, from your business.
Shonda, I'm not crying tonight.
What do you want? 5, and you only need 5 because we finishing something. So ask.
All right, this first question says, how do you know the difference between a hobby and a business? Again, how do you know the difference between a hobby and a business? I'll let y'all answer how y'all want to.
Right. To add to that, I would say a lot of us, particularly as Black-owned businesses on this Juneteenth, are doing business without physical written agreements. And if you are doing business without written agreements, you are screwing yourself. So you really have to determine, okay, I don't care if you're baking cakes, cookies, whatever, I don't care if you're watching people's kids. You need a written agreement of some sort with the understanding that if you need to take this person to court, word of mouth does not stand up in court. There needs to be a written agreement. The second thing I would say is we also have to get out of the habit of what do you call it, friends and family, like discount or letting people pay the day of or 2 weeks after, or no, like if you book this venue or you book Wayne Norman as a photographer, like you need to pay your vendors and your people and all the in advance. Likewise, people should treat your business the same way. So every time I send an agreement, before I do any work, at least half is due to, for me to even touch it and look at it and start, you gotta pay me half. So we have to also get out of, I was talking to my sister over in the corner, we have to get out of the root of fear. The fear of people telling us no, and also not trying to telling people, oh no, I don't need a deposit because we're scared that we're not gonna show up in what we said we wanted to do. That's what really is at the root of it. When we talk about fear, and we're like, well, if I take their money, yeah, that means you got to do the work. So we really have to start showing up as true, not just business owners, but CEOs, because there's a difference in a solopreneur and a CEO. CEO eventually will have direct reports. Eventually will have a team.
Force you to make your hobbies a business. If it's a hobby, enjoy the hobby. Like, we need time. Everything doesn't have to be business. Me and Tanisha were just talking about how exhausting this stuff can get. And sometimes when you try to turn your hobby into a business, you lose the love for it. And now what was supposed to just be fun, you're drained. It was just supposed to be fun. You know, I remember when I saw, t-shirt bits just jumping. And I'm like, oh, I'm creative. Let me get a Cricut. And then I started seeing the details of it. I said, if you get a Cricut and you want to do stuff for you, just do it for you. Create stuff. Don't feel like, oh, don't try to monetize everything. If it's a hobby, enjoy the hobby. If it's supposed to be a business, then do what they said. But I just also want to depend that, like, don't try to force all your hobbies into business. Enjoy things. That's okay.
That is game. You are, I understand because I am that person who is
was not what you got back. And now you feel like you did all of this work and you didn't get your work. So that's another thing, is that if you have a problem with understanding the value of what the service or business is that you provide, then you need to step back. Because if you don't, you will have a hobby with the intentions of having a business. Because you don't understand your value. And if you don't know how to put valuation on what it is that you do, and put a solid cost on what it is you do, and a pay schedule for what it is that you do, so that you are getting what you are worth, then you will end up with a hobby with all intentions of having a business. And so those are all of the things that you have to do before you get into business. I remember my mentor told me, you do business out of your feelings. Take a step back and realize that this is business, because if you don't, then people will swallow you up because you soft and you doing business out of your feelings, and then they got you getting, they getting the whole shebang noodle out of you, and you are getting absolutely nothing. And in fact, you can find yourself paying for people's projects because you